All right, today I'm going to build another set of shelves right here, and I'll show you, it's a pretty simple style that I do. These are two sections right here. They're basically 8 feet tall, 8 feet wide. Each section takes 13 2x4s and 2 sheets of plywood. And that depends on how big you want the shelves. My shelves here are 19 inches from here to there, and the reason why I chose that is because my plastic bins are about that tall, so they'll fit in there fine. So of course you can adjust as what works for you. So and also I use this OSB. It's cheap, it's stable, pretty simple design. And the way I do it, you can do it all by yourself. You can do it differently if you want some help, but or if you have help available. But anyway, I'll get started. A little bundled up. It's about 32 degrees right now in the shop. And what is it outside? 26 degrees outside. It's my first winter in this shop, and I realized I probably should get a little wood stove out here. Although, I don't know if you've seen any of my videos from my last shop, was smaller, but it was insulated and sheetrocked, and that made a big difference. This one is not, but it is too big. I'm not going to spend a fortune on insulation and sheetrock for this one, but a wood stove would definitely take the bite off. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to start off and build all 4 of just these shelf platforms, just the boxes, all 4 of them. So what you want to do for your measurements, obviously, keep in mind if you have any outlets. This one, when I did this one, I did the measurements and the outlets came out just, can't really see, just above, or the shelf came just below the outlet. So when I did this side, I did the exact same measurement, but I think the floor changes level a little bit. So I ended up having to notch out for the outlet a little bit. So this time, for this outlet, I'll, although I only have one, but maybe I'll just still make sure the top of the shelf is right below that outlet. And then the rest will be the same. And then I have a little bit of a different situation because of the foundation. I have to raise this bottom shelf up a little bit to basically sit right on this sill plate there. There's not much there, but that's what I have to do. And then of course I like my 2x4s on the top sticking up just a little bit so that you can use it to hang cords or whatever you might have on. So anyway, let's get started on the boxes. Okay, first of all, I need to cut 8 pieces at 21 inches. And this is some old recycled pieces that I'm using. I tore down some old shelves that were here, and no reason, they're decent straight pieces, no reason why I don't use them. Now what I'm using for the assembly are just a number 9 2.5 inch construction screw. They work good for me. Now this is where an extra set of hands could be helpful, but it's doable by yourself, as you'll see. Maybe get a little wobbly. There's one shelf basically complete. I don't put a lot of weight on these, but if you're going to have more weight on yours, I would maybe consider one more cross piece here in the middle. But for what I use it for, it's not necessary. All right, got all the 4 of the boxes put together. You notice I was using a hammer drill in this case, and the reason is because this the old recycled wood that I'm using is really hard and kind of knotty. I mean, it's like got knots in the wood, not knotty because it needs a spanking. So anyway, let's try assembly. Okay, now basically just kind of lay this down. This is getting close to where another person would be helpful, but this is how I do it by myself. So right now I'm just going to work on, this is going to be the bottom. Right now I'm just going to work on the second shelf. And what I need to do is find out for the outlet where we're at. 44 inches, so we'll drop another 1/2 inch for the plywood, and then we'll go another 1/4 inch for good measure. So we'll do 43 1/4. All right, I got the top of the shelf right even with my line. I want to make sure it's as square as possible. This is where another set of hands would come in handy. You could fasten all 4 of these just kind of right in front of where you want to place it, tip it up and move it in, but it's just me, so I just do the one section right now. Okay, now just make sure it's up tight against my other shelf here. Throw a level on it. Now, that's a pretty good hold. I'll probably do about 3. You know, I got my screw there. I'll probably do another one there, and then maybe one on the end. You don't have to overkill it with the screws. Again, unless you're going to be putting really heavy items on, but I wouldn't recommend it. Now, if you have some pieces about the right measurement to help support the shelf when you throw it on. That'll help hold it in place. So we got all 4 shelves, very sturdy. Now we just need to rip lengthwise 2 pieces of the plywood, put those in, and then the centerpiece. So let's do that. All right, and one of the last steps is to fasten these down just to hold them in place. You can see it's kind of off there a little bit. They're kind of warped just from sitting for a while. So all I'll do is I'll just take some, I think, what are they, 1 1/4 sheetrock screws, and maybe put one here toward the back, one here in the front, and then one here in the back, and that'll hold them in place pretty well. Once again, if you're putting really lightweight stuff on there, it could basically be done at this point, but I'm going to still put the centerpiece up just for a little extra support. So all I need to do is find the center, level it up, and drill it in. And there we go. Project is complete.